Hey YouTube, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Hobby Plus CR-18P Trail Hunter and Rock Van. In this video I will take a detailed look into the radio and receiver of those trucks, which are super similar to the FCX24 radio and receiver. However, the receiver is not exactly the same. The radios differ in color but seem to be quite the same, and the receiver here, the receiver of the Trail Hunter and the receiver of the FCX24 or of an FCX24, you see they are not exactly the same. Plugs are mounted different, however they do have exactly the same functions. Super quickly to the main functions. You have seen this 100 times probably of those radios: steering reverse, throttle reverse. You have steering trim, steering dual rate, throttle trim, throttle dual rate, battery, car battery, LED, and this red LED, the bind button, and the green LED will work in the program mode. And you have those dips here. The left dip is for the mode, so now I'm on forward brake reverse. You see, I can't go directly to reverse. You have to do it 2 times. That's Uppsala, not crawler mode, of course. And the left dip on the top, then that's crawler mode, forward reverse direct. Then the second dip is for LiPo battery, that's on the bottom, or for nickel metal hydride. So I have, of course, LiPo battery. And third and fourth are for brake, for drag brake. You can control drag brake, zero drag brake, 50%, 75%, and 100%. Now both down, there is not a drag brake, so it's still a little bit, but you see it's rolling a little bit. And if both dips are up, now we have 100%. You see the difference? It stops immediately. And one up and the other down are then 75 or 100 or 50%. So both down, it's rolling a little bit, and both up 100%. But you've seen this many times. I played around a lot with the light controls and light functions. That's super puzzling in the Hobby Plus CR-18Ps too, as it is or was in the FCX24. Functions are very similar or are the same. You can control a ton of different LEDs, but how to do this, that's quite complicated. I made a detailed video of the FCX24 receiver light controller unit showing this, and in the end of this video I will also show you how to mount a ton of light and how to get all 5 light modes which this radio can control to your Trail Hunter. The Trail Hunter and the Rock Van do have the same receiver unit, as you can hopefully see here. However, the Rock Van does have much more light functions, or does have programmed different light functions. So it does come with cold white lights. I did change it, and you see weak and strong, and additionally you have blinkers, turning lights. Those fog lights I did mount, and I also exchanged it to warm white LEDs because I think that's much nicer for such a truck. And the Trail Hunter, in contrary, does only have one light function programmed. You have to press 3 times, and then you have warm white lights. 4th time this stays, and then it's off again. So no weak and bright lights, no turning lights, and the rear lights are only red. No function, no brake light. What's quite strange, they used only one port for both LED types, so they connected the front white LEDs and the red, and those are red LEDs in the rear in parallel, and that's why they had to use quite a lot of different resistors to manage this, because normally you cannot connect LEDs of different color in parallel, and they only used one port for this, the simple fog light port, what's quite poor. It would be super easy to change this. Maybe I will show it in a later video, to control the front and rear lights independently, and also to make the front lights with two different strengths, so weak and strong. But I will also show you in this video, and that's the more puzzling part, even the functions of channel 3 and 4. The receiver unit has, as the receiver unit of the FCX24, 3 channel ports for channel 1, 3 and 4, unfortunately not for channel 2 ESC. So you cannot connect an external ESC to this unit, and channel 3 and 4 are controlled by this 3-position switch, and this push button. And this push button does have two functions, as in the FCX24. Short clicks control the light modes, and long click controls channel 4. And here we come to a quite puzzling part or point, that channel 3 here in the unit of the Hobby Plus CR-18Ps, as the channel 3 in the unit of the FCX24, does only have 2 positions here, even if it's a 3-position switch. Check this out. Center position, nothing happens. Outer position, center position, nothing happens. Outer position, the servo will turn. Mini-RC showed in a video a month ago in the FCX24 that there seemed to be 2 different types of receiver units. The elder ones with 3 positions on channel 3, and newer ones with only 2 positions. Channel 3 in the FCX24 is used for gear shifting. It has 2 gears, but the CR-18Ps do not have 2 gears, so you have 2 free channels you could use. I checked all my radios. I do have 4 of this radio type now, no 5. I checked 4. I have a brand new one. They are not labeled. They are only labeled FMS. All my radios of this type, so the 2 from the CR-18Ps and 2 FCX24 radios, arrived only with a 2-way switch on channel 3. But then an unknown hero from Facebook, in a Facebook group, found how to change this. I won't go in detail here. You can see how to do this on Mini-RC's channel or on Hof's channel, but you can change the 3-position switch to 3 positions, and therefore you have to press the bind button 2 times, and then play around here with the steering trim, and then you see, now I have 3 positions. So that way this channel should be able to control maybe rear steering in a primitive way if you want all-wheel steering, but more important, a winch controller, what is an ESC. However, this does not really work, and I will show it to you in this video. It's super complicated. You can use channel 3 and also channel 4 to control additional light switches 2 times and then go out, but you see, now it's on 3 positions. If you want to know more about this, check Mini-RC's channel or Hof's channel. I will show you the functions now on this FCX24 receiver, because it's easier to show on camera. It's absolutely the same, works exactly the same as the CR-18P receivers. And here now I do have connected 2 adapters to channel 3 and 4, and we have here a servo now on channel 3 because I switched this to 3 positions too. So check this out now. So channel 3 is on 3 positions now. And what's okay, you can control by both of those channels light switches. And you can control the simple, those are the super cheap AliExpress light switches, which always need a double click, but that's a bit annoying on channel 4. On channel 3, it also works. Come on. So, check it out. You always have to fully change the position. So go back, go forward, go back, go forward. So it's not super nice, but it's okay. But if you change to channel 4, where the long press is the signal for channel 4, the short presses are for the internal light controller, that's a bit annoying. So I press long now, and you see it lights up. And I press long again, but nothing happens. I have to press 2 times, and now it's off. So that's a bit annoying. You see nothing happens, press long. I have to do it 2 times. So 2 long press. Again long press, nothing happens. But with the second long press, this will work. That's much nicer if you have a really nice light switch. I will show it to you with this super tiny nice light switch here now. It works even on channel 3 better and nicer, and of course on channel 4, because it needs only 1 click. So here we have this super tiny light switch, and off, on, so much nicer, and even better on, take care if you pull out those tiny plugs, much better on channel 4, because only 1 long press will change the light. So off, long press, on, long press, off. So that's not so cool if you use those super cheapos, the red ones or the yellow ones from AliExpress, but at least it works. But controlling a winch controller with channel 3 with a 3-position switch unfortunately is not that easy with those radios, because there seems to be no center position. I show you now on a super cheap radio, so not on a sophisticated radio, on a normal radio, that's Flysky 2, the really Gen 4 is only rebranded, how nice this works. On this super cheap radio you can't make any adjustments. It does only have a 3-position switch here. How can you control a winch? You can use an ESC as winch controller and connect it to channel 3, remove the red wire of course, or you can use one of those super tiny ESCs which are directly powered by the receiver and connect a tiny winch of course. So I connect this tiny winch controller now to channel 3, but let's switch it off, connect a small winch to this winch controller, switch it on again, and then we have here the 3-position switch. Now it's in center, going down, going up, no problem, perfect, super cheap radio. Or you can use a, this was wrong, you can use an ESC to control the winch. What is important, if you connect the ESC to the receiver, remove the red wire, because you don't want the BC of the ESC to power this receiver. It's already powered by the BC of the main ESC. And then connect the winch to this ESC, and you also have to power the second ESC to power it up. You can use the same battery in parallel or use a different battery. I use a different now, and then you have to switch it on. So I switch on the main ESC now, which powers the receiver, and now I also switch on the Winch ESC. You heard it initialized, and super cheapo radio. Everything works fine, but unfortunately it's much more complicated in those radios. So I show it to you now on the FCX24 radio. You see channel 3 position, 1 2 3 2 3, and I will connect this tiny winch controller now to channel 3 here. Here it is, but let's switch it off first. And I won't connect the winch now to the ESC. I will connect the motor, because I do already know how many troubles this makes, and a winch has an end and I could destroy the winch. So let's switch it on again. And you heard nothing, and nothing works now. I switch it off again. Did you hear only one beep? Did you hear it? So the ESC did not initialize. And then I have to go in this program mode again, blinking red, green, and turn the right upper knob for channel 3. And you heard, now it initialized and it's already running. But one direction, other direction. I cannot find it. Changed direction now. I cannot find a 0 point. It changes speed. I played around forever, it doesn't work. It's changed direction, but no 0. And also playing around with the second, with the left knob, does not help. Now it even doesn't change direction anymore. Change direction, but 0, impossible. Okay, that's not good. And since I did already play around for quite a bit, I know unfortunately this super nice tiny ESC does not work. So let's try the second ESC, the Winch ESC, connected to the receiver unit. Again, important, remove the red wire. And let's connect it initially to the motor. If you do this, I recommend to use a motor and not a winch with a rope, because it could kind of break. We have to power this ESC up separately again. So power up the receiver and then power up the winch ESC. Did you hear it? Did not initialize. And the motor, beep beep, does not run. Then we have to go into the, I'm still in the program mode, go to program mode again. And now it initialized. One direction, other direction. I did it now and it works. That's super nice, because I played around for quite a bit. Let's go out program mode. Start. It initialized. So that way it does work. And now I can also connect the winch, because I'm quite sure to be able to control it now. And let's check. Stop. Stop. Okay, this works. That way you can control a winch by a separate ESC. But believe me, I messed around quite a bit to get those settings and to keep them. So I also had problems initially after switching off ESC and switching it on again, that it lost the settings. But now it seems to work. So nice, super nice. It works that way. What's not so nice, that this super nice winch ESC powered by the receiver does not work. I really messed around quite a bit. I was not able to do it. And you see I've wired up all light functions again, as I did in my first video about the FCX24 light controller. But here first take a look at the schemes. First, you see all ports or plugs share a common plus. That's what you can see on this graphic here. And what you can see here now is the function of each pin of those plugs which are no servo or no channel 1, 3, 4 plugs. All have one common plus. And then we have two plugs with only 2 pins, so only one function. Both are fog lights. One is already occupied by the lights that come by factory settings, and the second fog light is free. I made it green here. And then we have 3 plugs with 3 pins. Each of those does have 1 plus and 2 different functions, which you can see here on the graphic. But take care, again, as in the FCX24, the blinkers are labeled wrong. Right is left and left is right. And finally we have a 4-pin plug, which has 1 plus and 3 independent functions for controlling LEDs or LED groups. If you want to do it, check this graph. I don't want to explain it, or will not explain it again in detail. Check the first video I did it much more in detail there. But now let's see how this works. We have 5 light functions controlled by this channel 4, and in 0 position we have only what you can see here, a reverse light and a brake light. I hope you can see it. And reverse, there are no. And we have turning lights functions. And then 1 click, and we have the main beams now. And we have the main beams. Additionally, we have, of course, turning lights, and we have reverse and brake and all this stuff. And main beams are only weak now. And if I click once again, you maybe saw it, main beams are brighter now. And we have all the other functions, including turning lights and whatever. And next click, we have the fog lights on. I made it green here. Hey, come on, don't fall out. It does work, of course. And the beams that do come with the by factory settings are on now too. So here, and the red ones, you should change this, of course. And then we have a function with hazard lights. And then we have the all off function, but brake light and backup light. Okay, the second fog light fell out now. Main beams weak, main beams strong. Always turning lights are working. Then fog lights additionally. One fell out now. then hazard lights, and then off again. If you want to see this mess in detail, please watch my first video I made about the FCX24 light controller. So that's it now for this video. There's a lot to do with a Trail Hunter. Honestly, it's not super cool. I will do a short video, compare it to the Rock Van, because there are some differences. And then it lifts its left tire. I did already make a microcrawler capability test with it easily, and maybe here a servo on axle would help. Servo on axle is not easy, as all people know who do already play around for some years with CR-18s by Hobby Plus, normal CR-18s, with CR-24s with the short motor, with the 0-30 motor, and with the CR-18s, those with the small motor, this is easier. But with the CR-18s with the 0-50 motor, it's not that easy. However, I did design, or I did change the servo on axle mount I made for the RGT axles for this tiny sucker here, and I uploaded it on Thingiverse. So if you want to play around, I will play around a little bit. You can print it, and it's super simple. I'm sure there are many people who make much better ones then, and finally we will get metal ones. However, there are quite a lot of problems to be solved with this Panhard bar and the room for the servo on axle mount, but maybe then it won't lift its tire that bad anymore. But I will show all this to you in the next video, where I compare it in detail to the Rock Van. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next video. You want to see light? Come on. Yes, hazard lights. I'll be back.